Hello. Hello, and I hope that you are recovering from an entire week of PE with Joe Wicks and not aching too much. I hope you haven't strained something. I think it would be quite possible. The man is a genius. I don't know why he's a genius, but he's a genius. And yet there are parts that he doesn't reach, and those parts are the parts that I'm accustomed to working with, and so I hoped that it would be useful if I just put together a couple of little exercises you can do at the weekend just to get you ready to go again tomorrow. So the first thing, one thing you'll need is to be conscious of your earlobes, not your earlobes really, but if you find them now and then put your finger just in the soft little hollow behind there, and then what I'm going to be asking you to do is move that area. So you want to be able to stretch it, either squash your finger on one side like this one, squash it, or reach that point forward away from your body. This is an area we're looking to get some mobility into. It's an area that can cause problems if it's restricted. So we will need that, not just at the moment, but let's stand up. There's just 3 exercises and I'm going to show you them fairly quickly so that it doesn't end up feeling like paint drying. So bring yourself up, and to start with, if you, on an inhale, let your arms float up, and exhale down again. Inhale. What you're doing really is letting your breath be enough to move your body. So you're not going to make movements that are more than your breath, and that's a really good way to stay safe. So eventually you'll inhale your arms way up over. When your arms are way up over your head, you can interlock your fingers, press the palms away, straighten the arms above your head. Then if you let one foot come forward of the other, so one heel is kind of level with the other toe type of thing. If I was standing, it would look kind of like this, like sort of Egyptian. So now, all you need to do really is on the inhale, reaching with your hands up, and inhale the back of your neck long. And exhale, let the nose rise up, float up to look at your hands. On the inhale, reach the back of your neck long. And what you're looking to do is let your low back release as you do that. So on the inhale, you'll find that because you've reached yourself up here, as you inhale, the low back will want to lengthen out, and let it do that. Then on the exhale, you let the stretch go out of it. You let your nose look up, and you let the curve go back into your low back. You do that with each side, so we're reaching up, inhale, and then exhale, looking up to the sky. Then on the exhale, let your arms come down, wiggle your shoulders round. And exercise number 2, you bring yourself to what we would call a neutral cat, which is simply hands and knees. And most of us feel we've been put just now. And your wrists will be underneath your shoulders, your knees will be underneath your hips. And on the inhale, just similar to the last exercise, on the inhale you're lengthening the back line, you're pressing up, pressing into your wrist, pressing up through your arms, and your spine will rise up. You'll be able to lift the centre of your back up above your shoulders, and that will let your head drop down. Let the crown of your head fall towards the ground, let the back of your neck be long. On the exhale, you're letting your breastbone drop to the ground as much as you can with straight arms. So you're drop your spine down in between your shoulders. Let the throat be long, and you're letting that little point behind your earlobes drift forward and up on both sides. So you're really letting a lot of opening happen. On the inhale, again, you press into the hands, you lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Let the back round, let your tail drop down to the ground. And on the exhale, you take the breastbone towards the ground. Let the tail and the nose drift up to the air. Let that point behind your earlobes go up and forwards. And you just cycle around that, letting the breath, you give yourself the opportunity and then let the breath do the work for you and get the flow of all the good stuff happening in your body. So each of these you make a position and then the breath is the life within it. So that was number 2, which has a second stage, which I nearly forgot, which is the cool bit. This is the best bit. So go back to your neutral cat. Could you now take your left knee back, get it out of the equation so it's not weight bearing the way the others are. It's still hanging on the ground, but it's not weight bearing the way the others are. And what that does is it means that this corner of your pelvis, your hip point here, drops slightly towards the ground. Okay? Now, as you do that, could you take your left earlobe and move it forward, move it as far forward as you can. So you're lengthening all of this side of your neck and you're taking that point of that ear forward. So take as much as it's offering, and then breathe into it as many times as you like, but I certainly wouldn't expect any change if you do less than 3. I would start at 3 and go from there if it's fun. And what will happen with each breath, you will feel it, if you're feeling at all, you will feel it sort of giving a little bit more, and you can just go with it. As it gives you a little bit more, you can take a little bit more length. There's no point trying to force it. This isn't the kind of system that you can force. So you just go there and then breathe into it, and your body will make good use of that. Then of course, you bring your head back to neutral, bring your knee back underneath you, swap over, so you take the right leg back, you let that right hip point drop slightly, and then you take the right earlobe forward. Feel that as a lengthening. It's a very deep stretch. It's not even a stretch, it's just a positioning, it's an opening, an untangling, and then breathe into that as well. Good, and then you bring your head back to neutral, bring that knee back underneath you. And then if you drop down onto your forearms for the third exercise, what you need to do now, your knees will probably need to be quite wide, and you take the inhale, and then if you press your elbows away in front of you until your shoulders are round your ears, and what you're trying to do is get as much distance in between your elbows and your hips as you can. So you're lengthening everything, and you're letting your tail go back and back and back. And the work for this, on the inhale, you're letting some rounding happen. On the exhale, that tail is coming up and back, up and back, up and back. So you're dropping the breastbone down towards the ground. So on the exhale, you're really draping yourself to the ground as much as you can. And you're taking your tail as far back as you can. So you inhale a little bit of roundness and then exhale, draping yourself to the ground, the breastbone to the ground, the tail back, up and back as much as you can. And then when you've had enough of that, you just bring yourself back up onto your hands and knees and sit comfortably. So these three exercises, they get underneath the skeletal muscle work, and they give you kind of a blank sheet to start from when we go again tomorrow. So good luck, enjoy, stay safe, stay home.